Good evening, and welcome to the East Bridgewater Capital Committee. We're meeting this evening to follow up on last week's meeting. I'll take the hit on this one. I wasn't sworn in, so we couldn't have an official meeting. We didn't have a quorum, so we're gonna re-vote and look at the stuff that we looked at last week. So the first point would be we need to organize officially here. So we will take nominations.
To appoint Dave Walsh as chairman for the coming year.
Second.
Any others? All those in favor?
Aye.
I would make a motion that we appoint a vice chair. Any nominations?
I think the other Dave, I think it was.
I'll second
He
that.
happily accepted.
I'll
last
second that. Any others? All those in favor?
Aye.
And we need a secretary, and I'll nominate Kevin, because he does such a great job on there. And he volunteered, he enjoys it.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, we have a couple of things that have been presented to us prior to town meeting. Capital needs to vote and make a recommendation, because it actually, from what I understand on the article, what I saw, it's an article that's gonna be presented by the Capital. We have 4 articles before us. Number 1 is the pickup truck that John Haynes is requesting in his department with the revolving fund. This was something that was originally gonna be leased. With interest rates and the way things are right now, it makes more sense to buy it. So we had a vote last week. We voted in favor of moving this one forward, and it didn't count. So if somebody wants to make a motion, or if you guys want to review what the article says, we can go over those again, or?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I remember from years ago, when I was on the committee, that they would present a particular form that would say, here's what I'm looking for, you get that, okay.
So they gave us all the forms and submitted them to us, and we actually got a chance to talk with them at the last meeting. So things were pretty well cleared up for us.
Yep.
This is kind of a formality here. As part of the vehicle replacement, this will request to purchase a supervisor pickup with a snowplow. The current 2015 pickup will be repurposed to the fleet, replacing a 2008 service truck. It's also used as an emergency response unit on multiple occasions. No additional operating expenses for this.
Move to recommend the approval of expenditure of $45,000 for purposes of purchasing a supervisor pickup vehicle for the DPW, funding to be from the DPW water revolving account, is that correct?
Wastewater retained earnings account.
Okay. There we
Second.
go.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get back up to speed. So the criteria is, it's gotta be over $10,000, or do we raise it to 20?
It's $5,000, isn't it?
No, I think it's 10 or
20.
20.
5 years, it's
20.
5 years.
25 in 5 years.
Yeah, it's 5 years, okay,
5 years of useful life?
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just trying to remember all
I
the
got them mixed
details.
up. So this one works, because we usually keep them for 15 years, so. Okay, the other one that we have is, we have one for EBCAM, to integrate them with the town. They are now a town department. There's actually an article going to put a revolving account together for them at the special town meeting. It's just kind of I would just say a bookkeeping issue, instead of going back and forth with EBCAM. So to bring them on to security with the town, there's a request in for $16,000. And this is for the door down at the school and access and stuff there, right?
Like camera?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like so you can see both of it.
yep, and you can, yep. And that request is for $16,000, and this is coming out of the EBCAM
The revolving
revolving
we have
fund
already.
account. So
We have sufficient funds to cover this.
there is sufficient funds to cover it, so I would entertain a motion or discussion.
So based on the discussion we just had, it doesn't reach the threshold of 20.
Has a cost or greater, has a use, is defined, has a useful life of 5 years or more and can be bonded. It's not really a capital project then.
Then if you want to pass over, not pass over in the sense of asking the town meeting, but simply saying no recommendation as it's not a capital.
Yeah. You're really on the ball tonight.
I didn't do it last week, so
All right,
we'll get it right
good.
this week.
So we won't have a recommendation on that one. Then we have the public library, and they're looking for $20,000 for outdoor security cameras. Install outdoor security cameras on the library property. Has no security cameras on the property. Over the years, they've had incidents of graffiti, theft, bicycles, downspouts, construction contractor waste, paint and solvents left there, people dumping stuff by their dumpster, people using it other than library staff, cars in the lot outside of library hours. The police have been trying to get by there a little more frequently. They're also, I think we're doing a feasibility study on the roof and some other work there pretty soon, so I think it would be important to have some coverage there. They're not tied into the town. From my understanding is this would be tied into the town, would be able to be monitored, et cetera, down at the police department, et cetera. So, in the departments, because the departments can view these things at home too, which is a security component. The funding for this would be from free cash, Charlie, is that correct?
From stabilization fund.
Stable,
We're not gonna use any free cash at this town meeting, we're saving it for next May.
gonna save it for next month, okay, out of the stabilization fund, the capital stabilization fund or the regular stabilization fund?
I hadn't thought that far. I'll talk with Melanie and see what we've got in each of them. Come
Do we
back.
have any idea what we have in the stabilization fund?
I don't right now.
Okay.
I mean, I take it that these are exterior cameras, and that the exterior of the library is illuminated, so that therefore, if you're watching it at night, you can see what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah,
Good, okay.
it's a beautiful building. So either way you look at it, it's gonna come out of one of the stabilization funds, it's the proposal, so any discussion, conversations, thoughts?
I think the only thing we left open last time was just the idea of where it was coming from, so. now
Yeah, that was,
now
that
we
was
know
really
that,
it, so, I think it's probably, and Charlie, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the only building that doesn't have the outside security that the town owns?
Yeah, well, the water department buildings do, fire and police obviously do, I believe DPW does.
Right. Yeah. So it brings it into the fold of the town and gives the police a better opportunity. So I'll entertain a motion to accept or deny.
I'd make the motion to approve the spending, expenditure of $20,000 from stabilization, for purposes of installation of outdoor security cameras at the public library.
Okay,
Second.
okay. Any other discussion?
I'm sorry, still catching up here. So, in order for them to present this, they had other bids, or is this one bid, or how does that?
They had more than one.
Yeah, they had more than one. And this is
Okay.
put in, and this is compatible equipment with the other systems in town. It's being,
Great.
going through our IT department here.
Thank you.
Good question. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have one more request, and that is for feasibility study at Leland Farms from the Recreation Committee, or the school committee. School committee submitted it for the Recreation Committee, whatever. And it's a request for, I believe it was $75,000 to do a feasibility study up there. And that would come, it's intended right now, that might come from stabilization.
But they've also applied for ARPA funding, so I'm not quite sure if they're actually looking for the money from the town meeting or from ARPA, but I'm sure
Right.
one more time.
Very good point, and there's an ARPA meeting right after this, so, but, and my thoughts are that with the ARPA money out there, standing out there, and some decisions to be made around that, and this is a special town meeting, I don't know if it's an emergent thing to do this out there, and just,
They
this
do
is,
have 28,000 from the state, but that is going to disappear on June 30th, so if they wait until May, that, it's very likely that 28,000 is gonna disappear.
Okay,
Either we need to get it funded at the November meeting, or we need to get the ARPA committee to.
right, okay. So what I would ask then, in my opinion, my thoughts, is that I have not seen a complete plan from the Recreation Committee about what they want to do. I saw something today about the Casa Loma, I saw something about, stuff about Silver's Field and the buildings down there, and the part funding we got for the basketball courts and didn't do the other part yet. The access coming down Hobart, is it Hobart Street that's down there, coming down that way? And there's all sorts of balls in the air right now. I, for one, would want to see more of a comprehensive plan or an outline of what it is they're trying to accomplish overall, so that we can then, look at it and feed into it and plan for it in the future.
And,
That's my thoughts.
I apologize, if I'm representing the school committee, I'm not aware of that, I'll go do my homework and find out. If it was mentioned, I glossed over it.
I think
so
John just submitted it for the Recreation Committee with a bunch of other stuff.
Oh.
With his recreation hat on, because he's on the recreation committee,
Oh, okay.
along with being the business
Okay.
manager.
So-
So it's I use two separate email addresses for him, for instance. School
Oh,
stuff
okay.
goes over here, recreation stuff goes over there.
All right, so that wouldn't have come across my desk as on the school
Would
committee.
have just been the Recreation Committee.
Okay.
So, I'm open to other conversations and thoughts on that.
I just put a motion out to defer action on this until the night of town meeting pending receipt of additional information.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I mean, I don't wanna see, obviously, if there's $28,000 that
Right.
they would lose, doesn't make sense, but, just to, go forward without, I mean, I think we understand what it is, but
Yeah.
in very broad terms.
And I would also like to understand what they're hoping to get out of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
state,
yeah,
out of
yeah,
the study too, so. All right, there's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
This is to table to,
We could actually vote on this the night of town meeting, if we get more additional information.
And
They
assuming
may
ARPA
just
doesn't
wanna.
approve it, right?
Yeah.
So you don't get ARPA funding and, then
okay.
Okay. Then what I will do is I will entertain a motion to adjourn, and as things come up, we will start to maybe put a little regular schedule together, because at some point in time, I'd like to start meeting a little bit with the departments to get an idea what their plans are for capital for the next few years. And also get some information about what's in the capital stabilization fund, the stabilization fund, and free cash and stuff, so.
But right now, we don't have a schedule per se, we'll just play it by ear, so.
Yeah, because we have nothing, I don't wanna say we have nothing to do,
Right.
but we'll see you the night of the town meeting anyway.
Okay.
Or if we have to do something before, then I'll reach out to everybody, and everybody's been really good about getting together.
Okay.
So it's been fantastic, and we may need to get together for an appointee to the committee too. You know, if we get an application in.
Okay.
All right. You wanna hang, or you wanna adjourn?
Oh, I'm sorry, sleep with the switch. Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.